Hello, take out your binder and flip to your warm-up sheet for today. We will continue looking at decimals and look specifically at multiplying and dividing today. Tomorrow will be a day to review all operations and then a quiz on Friday. Go ahead and pause the video here and complete the warm-up. So with this warm-up, we're looking at multiplying and dividing positive and negative whole numbers. Remember, we can use our tic-tac-toe board for those rules. Negative 4 times 12 would be negative 48. Remember that the parentheses means multiply. Negative number 2, negative 3 times negative 2 would be positive 6. Number 3, 5 times negative 8 would be negative 40. Number 4, remember that fraction bar means division. So this is 36 divided by negative 4. So that would be negative 9. Number 5, negative 8 divided by negative 2 would be positive 4. And then negative 169 divided by 13 would be negative 13. Okay, you have 2 note sheets that you need to glue into your binder. Just put them on a clean sheet of paper with the one that has all the boxes at the top. So pause the video and glue those in. Okay, so here are the instructions for multiplying decimals. It is not necessary to line up your decimals when you multiply. You'll just multiply like normal. Count the number of digits to the right of the decimal in both numbers. And then you are going to move the decimal in your product that number of spaces. And just like we did with our whole numbers, with our integers, same signs are going to be positive, different signs are negative. So let's look at some examples. So for the first one, you have negative 7.1 times negative 3. So 7.1 times 3. Don't have to line up decimals or anything. 1 times 3 would be 3. 7 times 3 is 21. And then I look and see, okay, there's 1 digit behind the decimal, so I'm going to start in the back of my answer and go over 1. So that puts my decimal here. So 21.3, and then I look at my signs and make sure that have the correct sign. A negative times negative would be positive. So my answer is 21.3. Number 2, I have 1.02 times 9. So 2 times 8, or sorry, 2 times 9 would be 18. 9 times 0 is 0, plus 1 would be 1. And then 9 times 1 is 9. I'm going to count how many digits are behind the decimal. There's 2, so I'm going to start in the back of my answer and go over 2 spaces. So I have 9.18. And then I look at my signs. I have a positive times a negative, so those have different signs. So my answer is negative 9.18. Number 3, I have negative 3.2 times negative 2.1. So 2 times 1 would be 2. 1 times 3 is 3. I'll place a 0. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 3 is 6. Count the digits behind the decimal, so 1, 2. So I'm going to start on the back of my answer and go over 1, 2. And then I'll look at my signs. They do have the same sign, so the answer is positive. So negative times negative is positive, 6.72. Okay, let's look at some word problems with these. Sarah wants to buy 5 candy bars that are $1.30 each. How much will she spend? So I could sit here and do $1.30 plus $1.30 and plus $1.30, so on, 5 times, or I can just multiply by 5. I would always estimate first. So if I have something that is in between $1 and $2, well, I think in my head, okay, 5 times 2 is $10 and 5 times 1 is 5. So I know that my answer has to be between $5 and $10, okay? And then that way when I multiply and I get my answer, if it's not between those, then I know automatically I've done something wrong. Okay, so let's multiply. 1.30 times 5. So this would be 0, be 15, carry 1. 5 times 1 would be 5, plus 1 is 6. Okay, so that is $6.50 is how much she spent. Is that between $5 and $10? Yes. So that seems reasonable. So let's look at the next one. Every hour, the temperature dropped 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit. How much did it drop in 6 hours? This question, part of that got left off of the notes, so write that in. How much did it drop in 6 hours? So I would be taking negative 2.5 because it's dropping that every hour and multiply it by 6. Again, estimate 2.5 is in between 2 and 3. So I know that 3 times 6 is 18 and 2 times 6 is 12. So I know that my answer has to be between 12 and 18. So 5 times 6 would be 30. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 would be 15. I have 1 decimal place, so I'm going to move this over. And so my answer is negative 15. So it went down 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And my answer is in between 12 and 18, so that makes sense. Okay, let's look at division. So when you have an answer to a division problem that's a quotient, when you take the dividend, divide by the divisor, you bring your decimal straight up to the line, divide like normal. If necessary, add zeros until an answer terminates, or you notice it's a repeating decimal. And again, same signs are going to be a positive answer and different signs will be negative. Okay, so I have 4.8 divided by negative 2. So 2 divided into 4.8, bring the decimal up. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 8 4 times. I don't have anything left. I don't have a remainder. I don't have any other numbers up here. So be 2.4. And then since they have different signs, my answer would be negative. Then I have negative 9.99 divided by negative 0.3. Since I have a decimal outside, I don't know about you, but when I was in elementary school, I didn't learn my 0.3 times tables. I learned my 3 times tables. So we move this over, but since I do it to one, I have to do it to the other. So now my new problem is 3 divided into 99.9. Bring the decimal up. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 9 again 3 times. And 3 goes into 9 another 3 times. Don't have anything left. There's no remainder. So my answer is going to be positive 33.3. The next one, I have negative 24.2 divided by negative 0.02. So I need to move the decimal 2 spaces, and then inside I would move it 2 spaces. Well, there wasn't a number here, so I'm going to put a 0. And then I like to rewrite it because sometimes that gets too crazy with all of the moving of the decimal. So 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 2 one time. And 2 goes into 0 0 times. I don't have any other numbers, no remainder, so my answer is going to be positive 1,210. Let's look at the 2-word problem. So Joe spent $5.45 on 5 bags of chips. How much was each bag? So this is my total amount, and I need to find out how much for each bag. So I'm going to divide by 5. Bring the decimal up. 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 4 0 times. So I'm going to put a 0, bring down the 4 and then the 5, and then 5 goes into 45 9 times. So it is $1.09 each. Andrew's Car Wash Company lost $817.50 over 3 days because of bad weather. How much did the company lose on average each day? So again, we have some sort of total here, and it's over 3 days. So we need to find out how much for each day. Bring the decimal up. 3 goes into 8 2 times. Subtract and get 2. Bring down the 1. 3 goes into 21 7 times. 3 goes into 7 2 times. 3 goes into 15 5 times. And I'll subtract over here. And then I would bring down the 0. 3 goes into 0 0 times. I have no remainder, no other numbers here. So they would lose $272.50. So we can represent that with a negative, because that's how much they lost each day. Okay, there will be a second video to go over the second set of problems that you need to glue into your notes.